Your mind opens toward the white nothingness as if hanging in midair. And something living inside the maelstrom, invisible but perceptible, freezes in front of you, awaiting your command. From all available options, you choose this one. After all, who, if not the people of Carmine Heights, deserve to be the first leaving the dome that within a few years became a prison to humanity? You give the maelstrom an order, and it obeys without a grumble. The spinning vortex widens and shoots up to the skies. A real storm rises around you within moments. It pulls in streams of whitish mist floating over the ground. You end up in an endless whiteness, in a dead, silent nothingness. Yoko looks at you with glowing blue eyes. The robo-girl nods. Yoko's eyes, the robo-girl...
Further studying of society seems pointless.
The girl nods
Command protocols are set. I am ready to... Hanging her head, Fox. The woman looks up at you in a completely non-aggressive... She shrugs. Fox snort.
I'm coming with you. And your metals.
Another milestone in the history of mankind has come to an end. Maelstrom, that you have awakened in the excavation zone at C-12 Nashville facility, has remained completely unexplored, much like the civilization of the forefathers that created it. Of course, Maelstrom was neither good nor evil. It probably turned out to be just a tool that humanity simply was not mature enough to wield. Perhaps it was a communication interface that tried to unite the minds of all the people under the dome. Or a security system that warned us against getting into contact with something unknown and dangerous. Or a creative force that transforms the world and awakens supernatural powers in some individuals. One thing is indisputable. Maelstrom, lost in its own creation, gave rise to your incredible mind. And once in your hands, it gave you the opportunity to change the fate of the world completely. Few receive such a chance, and naturally, you took it and made your choice.
After hearing Johann's ideas, you turn Maelstrom into a kind of giant tunnel, or rather an elevator, leading to the aperture at the top of the dome. Now, any living creature can exit the dome without hindrance. After several years in forced isolation, this possibility gave humanity much-needed hope. Your decision did nothing to diminish the controversy among the exhausted Baron's dwellers, but it did distract everyone from their unresolved problems, forcing them to believe in an early successful outcome. Thanks to your help, the new committee's power grew manyfold. The former Cronus became a totalitarian, bureaucratic empire. After Kurt Spengler became mayor of Junktown, the settlement started to change. Construction of the long-promised wall began. The number of police officers increased, and life in the inhospitable slums became a little safer and quieter, albeit poorer than before. Bethany Mortensen deserves some credit, as even after losing the election, she did not give up her idea of turning Junktown into a free economic zone. And although her idea did not succeed to the end, it was thanks to Bethany that the settlement did not slide into absolute poverty and lasted for many years, eventually becoming part of the city. The many-fold increase in controlling policies made life in the new committee almost insufferable. Magellan people raised a revolt, which was put down with a heavy hand. Zemeckis' embarrassment from losing the elections in Carmine Heights didn't last long. Hieronymus channeled all his passion toward transforming the Phalanx, trying to turn it from a private mercenary army to something bigger. One could say he failed. The false database you gave him did not allow Zemeckis to lure the new committee's key employees away, which was necessary to develop the Phalanx's own scientific projects. The Phalanx remained a community of mercenaries. The pocket country created by Hieronymus decayed gradually, becoming totally unpopulated after a couple of decades. Zemeckis himself died in 1999 after a long illness, seeing for himself both the rise and fall of the Phalanx. Your actions concerning the church were somewhat contradictory, and so played no significant role in its fate. As the new committee grew stronger, the church's position worsened. Its adepts started being harassed. The church was eventually eliminated by Kimiko Nakamura's decree. As for the picnic neutral zone, it degraded slowly for many years. Your help proved to be not enough to provide its autonomy. Victoria was furious when she realized control over Maelstrom had slipped from her grasp. Led by their queen, the Fops army roamed the dome for many years, attacking patrols, caravans, and occasionally travelers. The gang's life ended some 30 years later at the Phalanx Fortress, when the last surviving Fops clashed with the elderly Phalanx men. The fight was desperate, and there were no survivors. As for Victoria, she survived and wandered in the desert for a long time, until one day, weakened and completely insane, she was picked up by some bandits. They sold the former queen to a brothel, where she ended her existence. Victoria Legrand had every chance of dying of syphilis, but alcohol and progressive insanity killed her earlier. With Maelstrom transformed into a gate to the outside world, Carmine Heights' position has only strengthened. With the developments in the ISO-suit program and a powerful scientific and industrial base, the Republic soon became the unofficial center of civilization under the dome, a place where finances, power, and technological progress were concentrated. You performed a great service for the engineers working on the ISO-suit project. Thanks to your efforts, a working prototype of the device was ready in a few short years. After rigorous testing to confirm the reliability and safety of isosuits, the first expedition was sent to the surface of the dome. What they discovered was incomprehensible and alarming. After descending the outside of the dome, the researchers headed for crystal sands. They reported the settlement had been destroyed and abandoned. There were no further communications. A haunting silence echoed throughout the dome. Humanity now knew that escaping the dome was not the end of their trials, but merely the beginning. Yesterday's comforting image of a bright, stable future had turned unsettling, even frightening. Though it became obvious much later, after many years, by that time, the desert had covered your traces. Though the tale of what you'd done is still alive, and will stay like that till the end of time.